Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bergenstages Television. I'm Jim Bumgardner, your host. Thank you for tuning in today. Currently at the college, we're in prep for our 2019-2020 season, which will include Picnic, Much Ado About Nothing, Fahrenheit 451, and the musical Once Upon a Mattress, with lots of things happening in between. So we hope that you'll come see all of our productions that you can. But today we're about to open up the wonderful play by William Inge called Picnic. And we have two of the stars of the show joining me today to talk about themselves and about the show as well. So can you please join me in welcoming Sarah Vallarini and John Kroner. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for being here today.
Happy to be here.
How you doing?
Okay.
Really well.
You're good?
A little tired.
You're a little tired,
Just
yeah.
slightly.
Rehearsals will do that to you all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
Good,
sure. But
good.
it's 100% worth it. So.
Cool, cool. Well, we're going to get into details about the show in just a little bit, but I want the audience to get to know about you just a little bit. So, Sarah, where did
Yes.
you come from? How did we get you on the stage for Picnic?
Well, this is my second year at Bergen. It's my third semester. I am in the acting major currently.
Cool.
And I came from Hackensack High School, graduated in 2018, and was part of the drama club there, and like did all the shows there and stuff.
Oh, cool. What shows did you do?
Well, my senior year, I was able to be in the our production of Cabaret and play Sally Bowles. And so that's probably my most favorite thing
What a great role,
that I
too.
ever got to do.
You did that
yeah,
about
for
10
sure.
years ago. It's been about 10 years ago.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
What a great role it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And what else did you do?
We did a production of Our Town, and I got to play Mrs. Gibbs. We did Urinetown, and I played Ms. McQueen. Yeah, and I did Into the Woods, All in the Timing. Yeah,
Wow, you've
like
got
that.
quite a resume already
Just
built up.
a little bit,
You
yeah.
did pretty good. And this was just in high school, or did this spread
That
out
was
over?
that was in high school, yeah.
cool.
But
Wow, that's a lot.
I've been in some community things. I did Beauty and the Beast at Bergen Pack last summer, and
With our Matt Rella.
yes,
Yep.
yes, I know him. He's awesome. And I got to do Hackensack production of Hairspray.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
That
Yeah,
was
what a
fun.
great little theater it is there, too. What a
Yeah.
wonderful find it is
Yeah,
to see
for
that.
sure.
The Performing Arts Center, at the Performing Arts Center? Hackensack Pack?
Well,
Hack.
it was the theater company's production, but they actually did it at the high school.
Ah, okay,
yeah.
cool. Well, we'll talk more about it. John, sorry to ignore you.
It's all good. It's
Welcome
very
back to the show, actually.
Thank you.
We've had you here twice or just once? Twice, two
Twice,
times on the show.
yes.
Good. So definitely welcome back. So give us a little background of you. How did you get to Bergen in the first place?
So I'm from Hillsdale, and I went to Bergen for a few years, and and I came back to do this show because Mary had, the director, had asked me to fill in a part because the original actor just had too many conflicts. You know, it happens.
Right. We'll get into the audition process, but the whole idea that we were able to get you was because we lost an actor, and she was
Right.
like, I've got to have someone to play this role. And
Yes.
it's a specific role, and we'll get to talk about that.
Right, and before that, through the years that I was here, I did quite a number of plays. I did, I think maybe four.
What was your first one?
First one was Complete Stage Beauty.
Oh my gosh, yes,
That
I
was a
totally
long
forgot
time.
that.
I know, it was a long
And
time
then-
ago. And then The Rivals,
Rivals,
and then The
Clouds.
Clouds, An Enemy of the People, and then some Directors Labs, One Acts, and then the playwrights.
Oh, the Young
Young
Playwrights Festival. Yep,
Playwrights,
yeah.
which my play was chosen for.
That's
was
right.
produced, directed by Mary, who's doing this. So.
Oh,
Very-
that's awesome.
very
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, you've got quite a. So did you do shows in high school?
Yes,
I know you
I
talked about
did. Romeo and Juliet was my high school production, and that was very
Playing-
exciting. Romeo.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good role.
Yeah. Or Juliet. Yeah. It was a lot of fun, and that was like when I really started getting into acting. But I had done acting in all the show, like plays and stuff before that, but I didn't really take it too serious. But yeah, senior year of high school, I really started.
Have you ever done community theater?
No, not outside of this.
Because
No.
there's some wonderful community theaters right here in our area. I mean, there's like 6 or
Yeah.
7 that are just like within, walking distance from the college. It's just great that
Oh,
there's
yeah.
all these opportunities to do theater if you're not in school
Right.
or summertime. You did both of those in the summer?
True.
Beauty and the Beast, I know, was a summer thing.
Yes, it was at the Bergen Performing
yeah,
Arts Center, and
Hairspray.
Hairspray was also
A
it
summer
was
thing.
a
So it's
summer
just,
thing. Yeah,
you're
exactly.
sometimes, what am I going to do during the summer?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
yeah.
school's not on. It's like, well, look at these community theaters. They do such wonderful things. We
great,
have a couple of people in Pippin over at Bergen County Players right now. You know,
Yeah,
it's just,
and
so
I
it's
know
really-
someone in Pippin
Oh,
too.
cool. We probably will talk. So great. So now you've come back to the college. Tell me how the acting program is for you.
I've really enjoyed it so far. I'm learning so much, and I've had Mary, our director, as a teacher like multiple times already, and she's just super helpful. She helps you be more comfortable and become more confident and sure of yourself and what you're doing. And
Which is interesting for me, where you had so many shows under your belt. Did you not have? Has this helped? Now that you know something from your acting classes and your scene study classes?
Yeah, I think you're constantly learning and growing. You're never perfect, but that's one of the things that I love about acting is there's so many different aspects to jump into, and
Every
so
role
many
is
different
different.
kinds of characters, and so many different areas to improve in, and just constantly be upping your game and doing
Cool.
better and better. So-
Great, great. And John, you were an acting major. Were you thinking of an acting major while you were here?
No, yeah. I first was a cinema studies.
Oh,
major,
that's right.
Yeah,
I remember
and
it was cinema
then
studies,
switched
that's
over,
great.
yeah, and then I kept pursuing acting even outside of this. I just wrapped a independent film, feature length,
Get out.
starring role.
Awesome.
In Brooklyn,
Awesome.
mostly in Brooklyn, and so I used a lot of what I learned here and outside places.
And you haven't completed your degree here. You've just kind of on the extended.
That's right. I'm
and
on the
it's-
extended plan. Yeah.
Right, which is totally fine.
Yeah, I'm
It's
on the
like,
scenic route.
Sometimes we have to work. Sometimes we can take one class a semester. We just can't do a full load because
Yeah.
life just has.
That's
its way
exactly
of
what
doing
happened. I
it.
got a full-time job, and then I started pursuing other things, music and acting and stuff. So there's
You're in a band, aren't you?
yeah.
You never sing for me. You're
Yeah,
always shy
no,
when
that's
you
not
sing. I
gonna
say, be in a
happen.
musical. No. And then I find out you're in a rock band doing a concert somewhere going, hello.
Right. Yeah.
But that's cool. And I think that's important to know is that, continue with the education as you can, but
Right.
don't put yourself on a timetable if that's not possible.
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
put yourself
Everyone's
into that.
journey is different.
Plus, you're still pursuing the career, too, if you're doing
That's right.
stuff. Do you want to get into film more than, which do you like better?
Yeah. First it was film when I was younger, and then actually doing the plays here, just doing so many plays in theater, it really showed me such more of an appreciation for theater.
For the audience,
Yeah, and for the craft of acting, how much it helps. So it's a different experience, and it's a different kind of acting in a way.
Interesting.
And so I love movies, but I think theater doing it is more enjoyable, more fulfilling.
Sarah, have you worked in film yet? Have you had that chance?
Not yet,
Yeah. Are you
but-
interested in it?
Oh, absolutely. If I ever get there, that would be a dream come true. But
Any advice, John, for getting into film?
yes.
No, I'm
As
not.
an actor, what you said
on.
it was a little different.
Yeah,
acting
well,
style.
yes, because first of all, you don't have to memorize the entire thing right off the bat. As with the play, you have
True.
to have the whole thing memorized inside and out. And then it's all different. It's filmed in different sequences, so you film the
And
ending and the
maybe, yeah,
beginning. And
off.
so just getting into the character, it's not the same process,
And the fact that if you're in the Saccone Theater and you're performing for 300 people, it's going to be a different.
That's true.
The little camera
Exactly,
is
yeah.
picking up every little eyebrow.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff
have to
like
be more
that.
amplified and physically, emotionally, and visually. And,
Good
Good
advice.
to know. Yeah, no.
Good advice.
you
The information's helpful.
pay me for
for
sure.
sure.
information.
It's definitely good to know, and
that's-
it's hard to
that's
cross
the
over.
things.
Television is even a little bit different from film as
Oh,
well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just more of getting to know these different. But having that experience to do it is only going to make you a better actor in whichever craft you go
Right,
into.
yeah, it's
Good,
great
good.
altogether.
So
Very
now
true.
you have done all your no, you did Clouds over in Ender Hall.
Yeah.
So again, for our audiences, we have our lab theater and we have our Saccone theater.
Yeah.
Our lab theater is a much more intimate playing,
For
and
sure.
the Saccone is, of course, large proscenium stage.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference between the two, John? since
You
you've
know,
done it?
actually, I really like the Saccone Theater. That whole big audience, and then the big stage feel, especially if you're doing a big production like The Rivals
Like The
was.
Rivals, yeah.
But as an actor, again, I think I prefer the smaller, intimate space because you're right there with the audience, and in some ways that could be a little bit more intimidating. But they can see more than if someone in the back row of Saccone,
And you would know that. Just knowing off, I don't know the high school stage, but just
Right.
the PAC stage is huge.
Yeah,
huge.
for sure. Yeah, for me personally, I think it's a little bit easier to ignore the audience and really get into
Have that
character and
distance.
focus. Exactly. But again, that's just another area to improve in.
And they will be 3 feet away from you. I mean, it's
Yeah.
that intimate, and I think it's almost like film. You don't have to overdo something because
Right.
they're catching it.
Exactly.
But it also tells us they can read that newspaper you're reading or whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
They're seeing
That's
it.
true,
You can't
yeah.
fake it, you know?
That's exactly right.
As an
yeah.
audience member, I would totally prefer the more intimate space.
That's
you know,
interesting. That's
but
interesting.
As an actor.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad we have the opportunity for students to perform in both.
Yeah.
Because I think a
Absolutely.
lot of the off Broadway theaters are going to be more like our 96 seats in the lab. Even off Broadway are that small and intimate. And we want to go to Broadway. We want to have a Saccone theater, but that's
Yeah.
okay. We teach in both of them. Great. So now, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of thinking about the show that we're in now, Picnic. John, we know that there was an issue with the leading character here
Right.
that plays Hal, and so Mary was running around trying to find someone to do a replacement. But you did the real audition process.
Yes, I did.
And what was that like?
Auditions are always interesting to do scenes multiple times and mix and match with different actors, see who you have chemistry with, and sometimes even being able to do the scene again and like changing it up. And honestly, I didn't know that much about the show going into auditions.
And is that okay? Do you feel like it's better to read the script and know it before you get there, or do you felt?
I think
the
it's
unknown?
for sure, it's a lot better to know the material before you go into an audition. Just from previous experience, you have a much better understanding of the character and what you want to do when you go into auditions, and you can be a lot more
Make
confident.
choices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think auditions still went well, and you still get time to look over and kind of decide what you want to do and feel it out. So.
So your advice, I think I'm hearing, is read the play, or at least read a
Yeah,
synopsis and know who the characters are before
For
you get
sure,
there. You don't
I
have
think
time to
it's
read
a
the whole
better
play.
option,
Yeah.
100%.
And occasionally you'll get an original play like John wrote, and nobody can get a copy of it. So
And
it's
that's
like
true.
you're stuck
so
with.
it's good to have tactics for both.
And making choices. John, you've auditioned before. Do you come in with choices, or do you wait for the director to tell you what to do?
I kind of, I guess you kind of make some choices beforehand, but I try, even in the audition process, to just kind of feel it as I go and whatever feels natural in doing it. I try not to plan too
Go with your
much.
instincts first.
Yeah,
Just kind of let
yeah.
the material guide you.
I try, yeah.
And then, did you get some weird stuff like do it as Marilyn Monroe, or have you ever had a director just kind of throw something out there and go?
Not for this audition specifically, but yeah, off the top of my head, I can't remember
But suddenly
very
they
specifically. But they've totally thrown things
Kinda
at me before that.
Trip you up there just to kind of get
yeah,
you out of your
exactly.
comfort zone.
Right.
Or
No,
something
it's true,
like
and
that.
it is
Just-
helpful. Yeah.
Oh, good. And maybe make it funny so that you can come back and do it relaxed as opposed. Because I
Right.
think we're still tense,
Exactly.
even though it's just here. We don't make you do monologues. You come in and you do a reading from the script, a
Right.
cold reading from the script.
Yeah.
But it's still nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for
It's
sure,
a still
yeah.
nervous
be.
process, and it's so hard to
Yeah.
calm down. And I think
Yeah.
you have to remember the director wants you to get the role. They're hoping you'll be the best person for it. There's no
Yeah.
trap here. It's not
Right,
like
right.
we're going to make you
Right,
do bad so I
right.
can get the person I want. It's like we want you to be the best.
Yeah.
So we tried. So you auditioned and you were paired up with different people, or did you kind of get the?
Yeah, a couple of different times I was paired up with different people and did a couple of different scenes too.
Because there's scenes like with your sister and mother,
Right.
and then the scene with Hal and,
Yeah,
and,
exactly,
and Alan
exactly.
with the boyfriend too there as well. Sorry, you missed this whole process. It's a wonderful
Yeah,
process.
you really missed out.
I really am hearing, what I missed out on.
You cheated.
But this is an interesting thing to come in, John. How was
Yeah.
it to come in after
Yes.
because they were like already a week and a half maybe into the process?
Yeah, so they had already done the casting, they already did the read-through, they already did some rehearsals, and so I came into it kind of like just like a few rehearsals in, and I didn't know anyone, and I didn't know really anything about the play. I didn't have time to read the play the first time I got there, and so it was kind of just being thrown right into it. Because we weren't even going from the beginning, we were going from like a few scenes in, so I had to like figure out who I was, what I was supposed to be doing, but then as time went on, I got more familiar with the play, of course, and
That's
the
great.
character.
It's just such an interesting process to be, but
Yeah.
you didn't give up and you were there and doing it. Well,
was-
we're going to take
yeah.
a very short break and come back and talk more about Picnic itself. So come right back. We're talking to Sarah and John about Picnic and our production about to open. So see you real soon.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 5 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Hello and welcome back to Bergenstages Television. I'm Jim Bumgardner, your host. Today we have been talking to Sarah Vellarini and John Kroner about Picnic, well, about your lives so far. And we've kind of gotten to the audition process of getting into Picnic. But let's take a moment now just to talk about the play Picnic. William Inge has written this incredible play, and I think it's the second William Inge plays we've done here. We did Bus Stop my first year here. Was the first one that we've done, and so it's great to have a William Inge play happen. So tell us about the play. You're playing a wonderful character, Madge, and you're playing Hal.
Yes.
So can you give our audience a little synopsis of the story a little bit? Can you guys chip in?
So my character, Hal, he's kind of a lost soul. He's done a lot of things in his short amount of years, but he's kind of been all over the place. And so he winds up in this Kansas town to see his old friend from college. And before he meets him, he starts doing some work, some yard work to make some money.
Is that why he came to the town?
That's what he says.
He says, oh, okay, so he knew Alan lived there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Looking for work.
And
He was looking for work, and Alan might be able to get him a job with his father.
Gotcha.
And so before I see him, I do some small yard work with this woman, Mrs. Potts, and her neighbor happens to be someone who, a woman who has a couple daughters, and one of them happens to be Madge, and Madge happens to be going steady with my friend Alan. And when I first see Madge, I don't know that, but I'm very taken with her.
And is she taken with him?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they kind of have like one of those instant.
The chemistry's right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Love at first sight kind of thing.
And your mom and your sister live in the house, and you have Rosemary, a tenant, so you kind of rent out a room?
Yeah, basically. And their father's passed since, so.
Do we ever learn about the father at all?
They're, just like a little bit. They had a little bit of problems in their marriage because of drinking and stuff like that, so that's kind of what she grew up with. But Madge basically is kind of considered like, the attractive one in the family and of the town and stuff. But the problems that come with that for her is it's kind of like, who wouldn't want to be like that? But she actually ends up feeling kind of worthless because of it, because she feels like that's all people see in her, She doesn't feel that value for other qualities. And her younger sister, who's kind of like the tomboyish type, she's actually very jealous of her because she's like so smart and talented, and Madge doesn't feel like she is recognized for that.
The beauty queen as opposed to the...
Exactly, and she takes a lot of care into how she looks and stuff and how she presents herself, and I think a lot of that is because she has this standard that everyone kind of upholds her to.
And this pressure of Alan.
Exactly. So she is going steady because it's the 50s with Alan.
Well, that's important to know. It is the 50s.
It is the 50s,
that's kind of the mentality of the people post-war America at the time, middle of America. We don't know exactly what town, I don't think.
It says in the description Kansas.
Yeah, Kansas. We don't know which town in Kansas, so it's the state. So middle of America, there you are going steady with Alan. And Alan is wealthy. Obviously, his father has a business that maybe hires you. So
yeah. So I think Madge feels a lot of pressure in that relationship because her mom really wants her to marry him, and she would have this great socialite life, and probably never want for anything. But I think she just feels this kind of pressure of wanting to find herself, and I think she cares for Alan, but she's maybe not head over heels, in love, wanting to do this. I think she's very on edge and just wants more time to figure herself out and what she wants, I think she feels kind of like trapped a little bit in like what everyone wants her to be, basically.
Oh, interesting. So as the play unfolds, you guys start this relationship kind of happening. We kind
Right.
of underscored there a little bit at first, just kind of flirting with each other, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
And you play with the sister a lot.
Yeah. She's a younger sister, but you know, we fool around or whatever, like play around, and then through the course of this picnic that's about to happen, things happen as we're getting ready to go to the picnic, and then we're left alone to finally talk one-on-one, and
Everybody's gone. You have one of the borrowed a
Yeah.
car from Alan, so
Yeah.
everybody's gone off to the picnic. It's interesting in this play we never go to the picnic.
Yeah,
That's
really.
true, yeah.
Unlike the movie
Now that
version,
I
they
think
do.
about it.
We don't, but there's a great reason for it.
Right.
But not to be a spoiler there, but we don't actually, change scenery to get to the picnic.
Right,
It just
yeah.
is kind of a.
it all takes place in the backyard between these two houses.
So there's these two houses backyard. It's all within like 24-hour period of time.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
super
really
fast.
a neoclassical type.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
happening in real time as opposed to 15 years later or anything like that. And so, and it's always interesting if you've left a cup on stage. Of course, it would still be there later because it's just later that same night, kind
Exactly,
of thing. Like that.
exactly.
So the two of you don't go to the picnic.
Well, yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, again, no spoilers.
We find
but
better
other
things to do.
You find better things. You just need some
Yeah.
time alone to talk to each other.
Right.
And our hope is for, I think, Madge. I think we lived through Madge. What is she going to do? And what is our hope for her? Is she going to stay in the town, or is that right? If we think about her.
It's funny. I guess that would kind of depend on the audience member's opinion of what they think would be best for
message,
her.
yeah.
Because on one hand, she's got like this, really
we won't give
comfortable.
it away. We
Right,
won't
we
give it-
won't.
yeah, yeah.
She's got this really comfortable life on one side.
Could have Alan, could have money, could have everything she needs.
And then on the other side, there's a little bit more uncertainty and even danger. But I think
I'm a dangerous
But I think there's love there. I think
not in that sense. But
there's love and
But yeah, then there's the notion that she wants to find herself. So I think a big part of her attraction to Hal is that, like you said, he's kind of a lost soul, and she's probably feeling a little bit trapped. And I think, it's the rebellion a little bit that excites her.
Actually, you
And
said it because they're like two lost souls in their
yeah,
own way, and they found each other. and it's
Exactly.
kind of so
And
cool.
I think she's looking for something a little more meaningful than what's been set up for her and already decided for her. She wants to have a connection and figure things out, for herself and like make her own choices, especially in the 50s.
Yeah.
Women didn't get as much opportunity to
Right,
do
it was
that.
time to be
so
in the kitchen and you're raising the
exactly,
family.
exactly.
and-
She's got a lot of
yeah.
pressure.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So how in school he was in school with Alan.
Yeah, and he actually flunked out because he didn't do enough of the work. He wasn't a great student, but he was a star football player, and that's how he got
Everybody
the
knew
scholarship.
him, and-
yeah, but he also didn't really have many friends, and he didn't have a great family life. And he has this extraordinary tales. Not tales, but past experiences and jobs that he's taken up.
And he loves telling them. You go,
Yeah.
really? Did that really
Right,
happen?
yeah,
But
and
yeah, they did. It's
and
just-
they did, but he's still a lost. He doesn't know where he's going, and I think when you meet him, he's still searching. What he has a line where he just rolls around like a pinball, and I think during the course of this play, he realizes that he needs to start settling down, and I think Madge is the beginning of that. If things. I don't know how the play
Yeah,
ends.
and I don't know how the play ends
Arc
either.
to the
We're all just
characters.
trying to figure
It's
that
just
out.
exciting. Where it's going. So now you're in the rehearsal process. You're blocking the scenes. Blocking meaning, some
Figuring out where to
Covering
go
the
and what to do.
movement.
the movement, what to do, how to get over there. Great, great. So you're in the blocking, and then you'll get into running the.
Right.
Do you find there's a lot that you learn in just running the scenes over and over again? Is it each time? Some people are, oh my God, we got to run it again. Do you think there's a learning?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every time you're just, working out the kinks, and especially a lot of the times when you're running something, you realize problems that weren't there before that you have to fix. So yeah, the more you do it, and I think also the more comfortable you get in your character, and
Discover a lot of things about that character.
Exactly.
And with the script, when you're reading the script, as you're doing the scenes, you don't have time to really pick up what's going on or whatever. But once you get off book, once you put the script down and memorize the lines, all that stuff comes more naturally. And, you
And
learn
start
new
listening
things.
to the other person and go, oh,
exactly.
is that what you say?
Yeah,
I don't know why I
literally.
say that. So, and then Marie Natali is doing our costumes. And so she puts you in
Yes.
rehearsal things so you can kind of get used to
Yeah.
dresses and shoes and boots. I think Hal's in boots a lot and kind of helps you find the character through what you're
Yeah,
wearing, especially
For
a
sure.
period piece
Yeah,
like
I think
this.
physicality is such a huge part of like any character you're playing, you know, and you know, especially
Wearing
women at
heels
the time, exactly, they had a certain way they're supposed to sit and like move and to
Very ladylike, yes.
yeah, to really be believable. I think it's important to kind of have some of those things down, and the costume pieces definitely help
So
with
a
that.
great add to it. Erin Ingersoll is doing our set design with a couple of houses there that she's working on, which looks great already.
It
And
really
we're so far
does.
away from opening, but it looks great. Graham Fry is doing our light design. Stephen Schwartz is doing our sound, which is a lot of the sound effects that are important. There's music that we hear across the lake from the, so some swing stuff. You guys are doing some dancing.
Yeah.
Yes, I was very nervous about that because I'm not a dancer.
But it's great. It's
But
you
it
know,
is. It's a
that
lot of fun,
swing
yeah.
swing type
Yeah.
dancing from the period. So that's kind of cool there.
Yeah.
Cody Chester is doing props. There's a lot of little props and lemonades and books and all of that
Yeah.
kind of happening now. And now we're working towards opening night. So we're getting into those tech. Well, I just made you. You took a deep breath.
Yeah, no, it's a fast process.
It does.
But-
It does. Especially the first show of this season is always audition as soon as we get here, start
Yeah,
rehearsing. You got
exactly.
5.5 weeks to put it up, but you guys are doing great, and John, we're so thankful that you were able to
I'm
to
very
jump into the
excited
role
and,
to make
and,
that
and
happen.
I'm glad and honored to be a part of it.
That's good. So you'll get into opening night. We open on the 25th of October.
That's right.
25th of October in the Inter Hall Lab Theater. And so we put all this tech together. We get the costumes on, and then you start performing. Did you, in high school, did you do 2 weekends like this? Or were you just a one weekend kind of thing?
Yeah, no, our shows were always one weekend.
Okay, well, I think you
So
learn a
this
lot by
is-
doing it 2 weekends.
Yeah.
You can grow as a character, so I think you have this great opportunity.
Yeah.
So guys, we're out of time. It has just been
no.
so
Look at
great talking
that.
to you, Sarah John. Thank you so much for being a
you.
part of the show. Break a leg with opening night of Picnic. So please join us
There
at
you
the
go.
Interhall Lab Theater. The dates, we open on October 25th. It's the 25th and 26th, and then the following weekend, the 31st, 1st, and 2nd. So you can come, watch the show for Halloween, and then go out trick-or-treating with us. So again, thank you guys for being on the show today,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for
Thank
watching.
you.
And come back.
How long have we been married there?
For 76 years.
He was kind and generous to me before we married, and he was kind and generous to me all these years that we have been married. We had been looking at a lot of different houses in different places around that area, and when we came by this house, it was green, and I love green. I'm Irish. And so I said, oh, there's our house. I know it. We decided on Meals on Wheels because at my age, I was getting to the point where I couldn't do all the things that I had been able to do. We're the Spans. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.